Welcome back to Down the Track, and the first game of the IPL is over. In the end, it was a thriller. It looked like RCB would run away with it, but Mumbai, the defending champions, kept fighting, and in the end, it was a two-wicket win for RCB, and winning on the last ball. Uzi, man, Mumbai's trend continues, losing the first game, then going on to win the championship. Your initial thoughts on the game?
Yeah. Just not enough runs on the board, right, for Mumbai.
Yeah.
I guess they misread the pitch at the start. It was difficult to bat initially. You could see the ball was stopping on the batsman. Rohit got unfortunately run out, and then Lynn started looking good, and he got out at the wrong time. But I'm taking nothing away from RCB. They're very quick to criticize them when things don't go their way, but hats off to them. I think, especially at the death and in the power play overs, they nailed it. They just gave around 60 runs, I think, if you count the power play and the death overs. So, especially Harshal Patel. Everything worked out well for them. It was a scare at the end for them, but I think more often than not, you seen that they were under control during the game.
Yeah, 100%. Just a word on Harshal Patel, 5 wickets. We didn't see that coming, but I think he was supported well from Jamieson as well. He restricted the run. So for the first time, I thought Mumbai will make 180 when Pollard and Ishan Kishan were there, even though there were 3 overs left. But it shows there is an improvement from last season with the ball for RCB.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Jamieson, hats off to him. We didn't doubt his ability in the test matches, and I had my doubts over him as to his value, firstly. He has improved himself internationally in T20s, but he just shows that he has a temperament. Yes, the conditions were helping the bowlers with their cutters and their slower deliveries, but he still nailed it. He had Pollard to bowl to, he had Ishan Kishan to bowl to, he had Pandya to bowl to. He just showed a lot of maturity, a lot of confidence, a lot of temperament. Yeah, like you said, it was a combined effort by the two at the end, and hats off to them.
Yeah, and Mumbai, the surprising thing is, in the beginning, it looked like the pitch was a bit too paced, but when Surya Kumar and Lynn were going, it looked like a good pitch again, and all the batsmen got starts, even Ishan Kishan got a start, so not finishing it off, I think that was the problem. They have that style of just going hard at the thing, and this time it didn't work.
See, that's the thing. Someone has to go out there and get a 70 or an 80. And Surya Kumar looked $1,000,000 again. Like you said, it looked like the pitch was fine. Surya Kumar would make any pitch look fine at the moment.
Yeah.
He's in that type of form. And Lynn, he had his struggles at the start, but he started getting more comfortable and he looked destructive. That's when you ask for trouble, right? Both of them, integral parts of the lineup, got to 40 and he got to 30. You just backed one of them to reach a 70 or an 80, if not more. And this wasn't even the type of pitch where you'd expect a Pandya or a Pollard or an Ishan Kishan to just come and, just depend on them to rescue the innings, because it wasn't that type of pitch at all. Most of the batsmen struggled. They needed to take time. There you have it.
Yeah, and if you look at RCB's innings, a lot of questions asked about captaincy again in terms of batting order. Washington Sundar opening, and then the likes of Maxwell getting promoted, and then Shehbaz Ahmed coming. That batting order, did it look a bit they're trying a bit too much for you, even though they won the game in the end?
Yeah, they are definitely trying too much. It doesn't help the fact that Padikkal is out with illness, or else he's a no-brainer as an opener. One thing is, respect to Kohli for taking the initiative and going as an opener. Sundar, he has opened domestically, and he has shown a lot of technique as well as ability with the bat, even recently for India. And I think he could have done better. I don't know. I'm not saying that I agree with the decision, but once the decision was made, I think he could have done better. I think he was trying too hard. He was trying to slog a bit. He was trying to force the issue. He could have just played his strokes naturally, tried timing the ball. Like I said, even though the pitch wasn't the easiest, but I think he still could have done better. So, do you have any ideas who else could have opened if not for Padikkal? Because I think,
like in this game, it could have been what's his name, Patikar. His name is Patikar. He could have opened the batting. I think they had if he didn't play and Azharuddin played, he could have opened as well. But
I think
could have played Azharuddin. Yeah, but Padikkal not being there, of course, that does make a big difference. And I think you're right. He looked like that because I think the plan was Kohli is going to anchor and the other opener is going to hit, and
Yeah,
that
it
role
was
didn't.
something like a Sunil Narayan
Yeah,
situation. Although Sundar is more competent than Narayan,
yeah.
I don't really disagree with that decision. In hindsight, I think it could have worked, but the who's the other batsman? The
Padikkar,
Padikkar, I think him being sent out after the wicket of
Sundar.
he came two down, I think, right?
One down, one down.
Game one down, yeah, that was a
Yeah,
sort of an issue for me. That's where you really need your best batsman coming out
yeah. I agree with that.
yeah, or else the pressure could have risen. And yeah, and De Villiers could have come at 4, and Maxwell could have come at 3. I guess they could have sorted that out.
Yeah,
They could have handled that better.
but you can tell that they're overthinking it because they had a feeling that they're going to take it deep, and that's why AB came at 5 to finish it off. But if you look at it from a different strategy, like if they came earlier on, they could have finished the game early on. But it looks like
Exactly.
they have a lot of scars from previous seasons, and they don't want to repeat that. And you can clearly see that they had AB there for that extra cushion in the end, and it worked out in this game. But you
It
can
worked out
clearly
in
see,
the end. Yeah, they should
yeah,
be thankful that they had De Villiers to see it off at the end. Or else But one more issue, Musti, was Dan Christian coming in late. They sent in Shehbaz
yeah,
before Dan
Shabazz, yeah,
Christian.
that's what I was
Again,
going to mention. Yeah,
yeah, that they could have sent someone experienced like Dan Christian earlier. Yeah, like you said, they've been overthinking it. They've made it complicated. It could have really, really gone against them in the end. But it's just that genius on display, right? I don't know how he does it. He doesn't play most of the year, and he just looks like he's been batting all year. And yeah, hats
yeah.
off to him. He was a
Puneet's
difference in the end.
asking, yeah, Puneet was asking on this topic only the way AB is playing. Shouldn't South Africa make him play the T20 World Cup? I don't think it's in South Africa's hands. It's in AB's hands. He
Exactly. Yeah.
they wanted him to play in the last World Cup 2019. Then I think this T20 World Cup was supposed to be last year. They wanted him again, so it's not in their hands. It's in AB's hands himself. Whether I think. Mentally,
Yeah.
he was going through a bit, and he just wanted to retire. But of course, he can play, man. If he can, the outstanding thing is the lack of match practice. I just don't get it. He hasn't played, and he's timing the ball like he just played
And
yesterday for South
often,
Africa.
I think he does play the Big Bash and the other leagues. Didn't he play in the Big Bash? I think he plays for the Brisbane Heat. I don't know about the other leagues, how much he takes part in those, but
Yeah.
yeah, regardless, lack of international cricket, lack of regular training sessions. I don't know how he does it, man.
Your favorite shot, the one over third man, or the scoop, or just like his sixes down or over long on, long off. That extra cover shot for me today was the best.
On Chahar, the long ball one?
No, the one on Bumrah. It was
The
4.
Bumrah one. Yeah, there are quite a few actually. Yeah, the Bumrah one was special, but I think the long one over long off was beautiful to watch. He just stood and delivered, didn't he?
Yeah,
It's like golf swing, wasn't it?
yeah, it was incredible. And Mumbai, we spoke about this earlier that their spinners can be an issue. I think Krunal Pandya was economical, just going for
Yeah.
25 runs, I think, in his 4 overs, but Chahar got smashed, and that's going to be an issue on these kind of pitches. You need your spinners to take wickets. Even
Yeah,
to be fair to him, even Chahar got hit. So
we pointed it out. If anything, that's their weak link. So opposite teams better make use of it. Yes, credit to Pandya. He was pretty miserly with his run. But yeah, although Chahar has shown promise in previous seasons, you do see it as a weak link. He's not really the best. He does chip in with wickets, but yeah, he does go for a few runs as well. They do have, and even if they don't pick him, they have Piyush Chawla as a replacement who does go for runs as well. So yeah, like I said,
and
sorry.
yeah, so I was going to ask you your thoughts on Maxwell. Puneet was saying is reverse sweep 6, but in general, what an innings! Outside of Punjab, he just looks a different batsman right now. And it looks like a good boy. It looks like a good buy.
No, and one thing's for sure, he was nowhere gonna be as bad as last year. Last year was horrific. He couldn't get worse.
Yeah. He's asking Puneet's asking what will Preeti be thinking after watching Maxi's batting.
Forget Preeti, what will Rahul be thinking? Because you have to feel for Rahul as well. He was the top run getter last year by far, right? Scoring in every game, scoring runs for fun, but his team was letting him down. Apart from poor run in some instances when Rahul really needed someone like Maxwell to just seal the match and just handle what needs to do what needs to be done late in the innings. And unfortunately, he failed him every time. So yeah, you have to feel sorry for Punjab. It's only natural. But regardless, just for
And,
the
and
quality,
it's not even like,
just for the quality of cricket, you want to see Maxwell fire this time, regardless of
yeah.
which team.
And it's not even like he made a 50 or 100 in this game. He made 39, and I guess just that impact. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't even doing
he
that
looked
for Punjab.
fluent. He looked fluent. It's not just the sixes, the reverse sweep, or the long on six. Even those chip shots over extra cover on Kunal Pandya just shows he's in a much better space. And the lead up to this as well, he was brilliant, right? I didn't follow the New Zealand series, but before that, in the Big Bash, he was unbelievable. In the India series, he was magnificent after the IPL. Like I said, it couldn't get worse than last year.
Yeah,
He's
no
bound to get.
sixes last season. He's already hit a few already in his first game here. So it looks
Yeah.
like a good fight for RCB. But in general, if you just look at the season, it's like for Mumbai, there's still a long way to go. They've lost so many times in the first game. It's not a big issue.
They
But the
lost.
fact that
They lost last year as well, the first game against
the
Chennai.
first game.
And
Yeah, but the
yeah,
fact that they came back, I think that'll give them a lot of confidence going into the game. But any changes that you'd like to see for in the next game? We'll talk about it later, but just on the top of your head.
I think although he wasn't bad, Marco Jansen, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he can make way for Coulter Nile or and you can see De Kock coming in as well for Lynn. Although Lynn didn't do badly as well. It's just that De Kock, it just seems so well settled, the team of last
Yeah.
year. And De Kock is in good form as well. Recently against Pakistan, I think he had a couple of good knocks.
He did.
What about in place of Hansen, who could come in?
Yeah, I think
Coulter Nile?
or Milne. They have Milne as well, the New
Yeah, they
Zealand
have
fast
Milner
bowler.
as well. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think Coulter can provide with the bat as well, even though it was a bit expensive last season. But yeah, maybe. But I think not too much to worry about for Mumbai. It's just the spinners. I think when Rahul Chahar starts picking up wickets, it'll give them a lot of confidence in those middle overs because I think that's where the momentum can shift. And when you're coming up against someone like AB, it's difficult. If it was any other batsman, Mumbai could have still won this game.
Credit to them because they really made it difficult for RCB. The runs were nowhere near enough, and Bumrah was special today as well, and Bolt did a decent job. And like you said, Pandya did well, and they could have easily done. I just don't know why Pollard or I think Hardik didn't bowl. I think their cutters would have come in handy.
Hardik has some issue, man. Like even when he was throwing, he threw underarm. He wasn't throwing properly. He has some issue. His shoulder. He's not fully fit, and unfortunately, I'm hoping that he gets back to full fitness because you need him as a bowler as well.
Yeah, they'd be perfect for this type of pitch where the cutters seem to be the best asset for any bowler. But yeah, it's a long series, man. It's a long trip.
Yeah, and just to wrap up, just a couple more questions. Your player of the match between AB and Harshal Patel, I guess.
And it has to be Harshal Patel, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the bowler deserves it here by far. That was the difference in the end.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah, 5 wickets, and RCB were missing. Everyone talks about the bowling weak, but you can see that there is potential there. I think Jamieson also will give them a lot of confidence. And AB, we've seen on these pitches, even last year when it's a bit tricky, he knows how to, he knows how to get through these and take his team.
Yeah, but Musti, I'd like to ask your opinion though. It worked out well for them today, but do you see this approach working for them throughout the tournament? Jamieson and Harshal Patel and Siraj bowling in the end. The pitch suited them today with the cutters and the slowness of the pitch. But do you see this approach working throughout the series?
I think it can. Of course, it's going to be difficult to say right now. I think it can, but they need to be a bit more consistent and a bit calm because Dhoni's done it with. I know it's Dhoni, but with the likes of Thakur, Chahar, and these guys, they've done it consistently. Game in, game out, season in and out. So it's not like they have bad bowling. They do have bowlers. Jamieson is actually very impressive. He might not be he might not be your Bolt or your Malinga or Bumrah, but he's a decent bowler. And when you have that firepower in your batting, I think if you restrict the team to 170, 160 like you did today, I think it's good enough to win games. So maybe it might not happen on a consistent basis, but that the key to that will be captaincy, field placements as well, and also changes in the team. So will these guys get backed and Yeah, it's very hard to say right now because, like so far, the
It's the
answer to
first
your
game.
question is no. But I just feel that it can happen. But yeah, I think that wraps up this game. Just looking ahead to next game, it's a past versus present or experience versus youth. Pant versus Dhoni. Pant is now the captain as well. One wicket keeper handing reins with another wicket keeper, proving both players will want to prove a point. Your thoughts on that game and who to watch out for?
Oh, watch out for Pant, man. Yeah, he's on a purple patch himself. Captaincy again would really. He looks like the type of guy who would really want to take this to the next level, given the captaincy. Yeah, Shreyas Iyer misses out unfortunately, but you see Pant and you see you see Pandya and you see all these players who have that swagger about them. They just want to improve. They just want that extra responsibility and just prove to the world that they're the next big thing. And Pant in his batting form, you just yeah, I think that it pretty much it's pretty obvious that he's the player to watch out for. Chennai themselves will be trying to prove a point. They made a few decent buys. We haven't seen Dhoni for a while. It'd be nice to watch him again. Uh, yeah, and last year was the first time they didn't make it to the playoffs, and I'm sure that that would annoy them. So yeah, it's hard to pick who'd win, but I'd still back Delhi Capitals to go through tomorrow.
Delhi Capitals. I'm going to look out for Sam Curran and Shardul Thakur from Chennai because these are Dhoni players.
Those are good. Those are good shouts. But you know who else I'd like to look at? Have a shout at Shimron Hetmeyer.
Yeah, Hetmeyer.
Yeah, I think he's not to the
that.
level of Puran yet, but he himself is an exciting prospect. Hits the ball really hard. He's an entertainer, and yeah, that's all.
Yep, and just a couple of questions before we go. Abu Bakr is saying, do you think if Shaw does well, can he go for the T20 World Cup?
I doubt it.
Yes.
In whose place
Yeah,
will he go?
plenty of competition there.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is with Shaw, like he's in the form of his life domestically, but he still hasn't shone in the IPL and for India yet, like as he did domestically. So if he has a crazy IPL and then back-to-back games, I think getting into the Indian team might be difficult, but because he had such a poor run before that, so it will take some time.
He had a poor run, but then hats off to him for performing domestically at least.
Hats off.
He had some stellar performances. But one of the main determinants is, although we don't like watching. No, but for the T20 World Cup, I guess then IPL is relevant. IPL performances are relevant.
Plus, it's in India. I forgot about that. So Abu Bakr has a kind of a point over there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll have to see how KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, all these prospects for opening do perform. But regardless of how they perform, I think it's just a bridge too far for Pant. A shot to make it, because he's gone lower down the pecking order.
Yeah.
But regardless, I'd like to see him perform as well.
Yeah, but it's good to see these youngsters coming back. Like, Pant was out of the Indian contention. He performed poorly in last year's IPL, but he changed it in 2021. Shaw, domestically, he's done it. Let's see what he can do in the IPL. It's good that these guys are fighting it out and, shows their mental strength. And, kudos to them, wishing them the best. But you're going with Delhi win. I will agree with you there. I think, they're a solid unit. They've made the playoffs last 2 seasons, and they'll want to go a step further. But the only thing is, I don't know if Rabada and Nokia are going to play, and that's going to be a big miss. So I think that brings Chennai right back into the game.
Have they not come to India yet, or are they quarantining?
They're in India, but they're in quarantining. Like they can't play today, right? So I think there's going to be the same issue. One more question. Thoughts on Siraj? He's maturing. Abu Bakr is asking.
Yeah, he definitely is maturing. I'm happy he got the new ball.
You can see that swagger, the confidence after that Indian cap.
And we're always so quick to criticize Kohli in captaincy, but he has a big part to play in groom backing Siraj up. He's always stuck by him. So credit given. And and one more good thing about today was that Siraj was exempt from bowling in depth. And
that was smart.
Yeah, that was smart. Because he's the type of bowler you'd see that he's a confidence bowler. If he gets hit for a few sixes, unfortunately, he's not the type who'd want to just come steaming back in and try to get the batsman out. You'd see his confidence takes a hit big time, and that really affects his bowling negatively. So, yeah, this approach, you have to give it to Kohli. It was decent. It was more than decent.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think.
And about my prediction about Delhi winning tomorrow, I don't know, man. That's my prediction, and that's your prediction. But all my predictions went wrong today. So
It's because I think, like, Mumbai Indians, like, in the recently, especially Michael Vaughan's hyped them so much, and everyone's said they're the best team. And the thing
yeah,
is, their approach is a high risk approach, and they do have the quality players. But I think there will be games where they can be exposed like today, but still, they fought back. They showed they're a championship team, and that's why they're scary, because they can win out of losing positions, and that's what they did in
they
2019
almost,
as well.
and they almost did it here as well. Yeah, so
They almost did it here as well. So there's been a couple of finals, I think, against Pune, against Chennai, that
2017,
yeah,
yeah, against
they didn't
Pune.
deserve to win that, and they just won it. So that's the thing with this kind of side, with Rohit Sharma's captaincy and the players that he has, and they've all has championships under their belt now. So that will give them a lot of experience. And
Exactly,
it's
there
going to,
lies the difference, right? He has a complete team, Rohit, and yes, no, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic captain, but it's just those teams where the players, all of them, just chip in bit by bit. Kohli is just, today was the biggest example. He just had to rely on brilliance from ABD, and it got them through. But how much can that happen out of 14 matches? We'll see forward, but it's going to be a great season, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a great season, man. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy your time here and enjoy the rest of the games. One more question, I'm going to take it because Abu Bakr is putting in the effort. Do you think CSK has an X factor player, someone other teams should fear? Sam Curran, baby, with the bat and ball. He's going to be the X factor. He's the Abdi Morkel.
Yeah, I heard you make that reference. Actually, yeah, he's the Abdi. That's spot on. And yeah, you can see there's. Yeah, his bowling, he chips in with his bowling, but even with his batting, he just seems so effortless with sixes, right? He has that about him.
Yeah.
He's not a big guy, but just so gifted, naturally gifted.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't like to be a copycat, but yeah, I think he is the player to watch out for me as well.
Yeah, Sam Curran for sure, and watch out for Rituraj opening the batting. If you can give them some starts, it'll be good for Chennai. But yeah, Uzi, I think that wraps it.
Do you think Moeen Ali has a chance of starting tomorrow?
Yeah, I think he has a chance, but I don't know if they'll consistently pay him. And even if they do, where is he going to play?
Who are your overseas players for Chennai tomorrow?
Faf, I think Sam Curran, and Gidi, is he there? Sam Curran for sure.
Right?
Yeah, then if Ngidi is not there, then I would go Sam Curran and Moeen Ali, because you don't have Hazelwood either. So they're missing that foreign fast bowler, I think. So probably have to pay an extra Indian bowler and go with the likes of Moeen Ali, I think, and see how it goes from there. But yeah, Uzi, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the games, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah, same here. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. My pleasure.